The supreme art of war is to subdue the enemy without fighting. Mastering others is strength. Mastering yourself is true power. Sun Tzu. Naturally, fighting and battle is part of every living organism to dominate while defeating opponents. It is fulfilling to be on top of the food chain, and thus, in order to maintain dominance, most things and people tend to go into war. In animals, we see it when the predator subdues the prey, waiting somewhere to hunt, tracking the weakest of the prey, and noticing the weakest moment of the prey. In humans, we can see this in actual war, in business, in the games like soccer and the Olympics, in video games, name it. And greater are the chances that if you are not at one point engaging in battle against our surrounding environment, then we are waging war against ourselves. Life is a natural state of war and end of war. Without war, we cannot know peace. Without sickness, we cannot understand what health is. Without floods, we cannot learn to build strong, fortified houses. Without war, we cannot fight any battle. War is a necessary precursor to peace, and however much we would like to remain in a state of peace, life has to give us some battle to fight. Divorce, depression and anxieties, accidents, loss of our loved ones, traumatic experiences. We have to know how to win every battle in order to maintain dominance. From chaos, kingdoms are built. The Art of War is an ancient Chinese military text with 13 chapters written by Sun Tzu on the technical aspects of war and strategies. The book explains how people must behave in war in order to win, the most important thing. How do you use the current terrain? How do you use spies? How do you know your enemy's weaknesses in order to subdue them? What circumstances are good for war and which are not? How do we act with the current situation, even though it seems to be out of proportion for war? Sun Tzu argues that the most important thing in warfare is to defeat the enemy without actually fighting him. He mentions how important it is to remain still or go with the flow and be inscrutable. He emphasizes the use of intelligence over brute force. In today's video, we will discuss Sun Tzu's Art of War. Sun Tzu is believed to have served the King of Wu during that time as general and military advisor. Many people have used Sun Tzu's work to plan their lives and battles, even in the modern times. Therefore, we see the wisdom of Sun Tzu applicable to our lives, which range from daily conflicts, and during these times of relative peace, we can use his wisdom to tackle our daily wars, such as work, business failures, and conflict. Oftentimes, it is better to avoid conflict if that means avoiding greater losses on our side. Not every battle is meant to be fought, and not every battle is meant to be avoided. We must know the difference and choose between them. When we have to fight regardless of the losses we will incur, then we should go to war. When it is better not to fight, whether we lose or not, then better go with the flow. Working smart is as key as using strength. That is why Sun Tzu insists on using intelligence more than strength. The highest form of victory, according to Sun Tzu, is defeating the enemy without even going to war. Not all wars are meant to be fought, and he goes forth to advise that the battles we choose to fight must be fought as efficiently as possible. The strength of an army is limited. No army is always formidable. Even the biggest armies can run short of fuel, armor, and utilities. Long wars are often disastrous, according to Sun Tzu, and they will only exhaust those who participate. Thus, the smartest way to fight a battle is to strike quickly, when the iron is still hot, with minimal use of resources. He goes as further to advise that it is dumb to destroy the enemy's city when we can actually use the resources to our own advantage. Also, you don't have to kill all the soldiers of the enemy when they can join our ranks. Being smart goes as far as not mindlessly destroying our enemies completely. He says, "In war, better take a state intact than destroy it. Better take an army, a regiment, a detachment, a company intact than destroy them." Ultimate excellence lies not only in winning every battle, but in defeating the enemy without ever fighting. The highest form of warfare is to attack strategy itself. The next, to attack alliances. The next, to attack armies. The lowest form of war is to attack cities. Siege warfare is the last resort. In war, we really need to be smart. Calculate, see the risks, see the benefits. If victory is clear, fight. If defeat is certain, do not. In order to win war, we need to have sufficiency. If our numbers are greater, it is better to surround the enemy. But when we are outnumbered, it is better to hide. We can do this by constantly mingling with civilians in order to know hideouts and way outs, hence the need of spies and the need to use our terrains to the best of our advantage. A common concept in Taoism is adapting to any situation that life has to offer, and then adapting to the flow. Just like water which takes no constant definitive form, we should also learn to adapt to change or accept change during war. War is no constant thing. The enemy always has new tactics to generate, the land terrains always change, the weather changes even on the verge of war, and hideouts may be destroyed. War has no constant form and we need to adapt. Sun Tzu advises us to derive victory from our circumstances around us, while as well maintaining formlessness. This also means assessing the enemy carefully and also seeing if they are adapting to the changes in life and how best they are doing that. We also need to assess the enemy to know what changes they are making so that we find new ways of getting information and also change our tactics as well. For example, we are advised to attack the dull spirit, those who are homesick and who will give up war to save their lives, and not the keen-spirited who are ready to fight. Sun Tzu says that defense implies lack, attack implies abundance. Thus, we can use this statement to assess the enemy's patterns. When they are strong, they usually go to attack. When not, they do not. Take that into account. It is also important to know when we are vulnerable to protect ourselves, and also learn when the enemy is vulnerable to attack while protecting our own invulnerability. Wait for your opponent to make a mistake and exploit it. We should learn certain tricks like fighting downhill or camping on higher ground. If the enemy is crossing a river, we should not attack him midstream, but wait for half of his troops on the mainland where we know the terrain quite well and deplete his forces. In adapting to any situation, we also need to generate new tactics along the way and avoid using old patterns and tactics, as the enemy might have taken that into account. I quote, "Do not repeat the tactics which have gained you one victory, but let your methods be regulated by the infinite variety of circumstances. Be open to change your ways. The difference that will make a difference is to think beyond your current circumstances. If you do what you've always done, you will get what you've always gotten." In war, we should also ensure inner peace and a balance in our souls. We should not be reckless, but not cowardice also. And we should always note that it is easy to get triggered, as luring people into battle because of temper is as easy as drinking water. So we should find what grounds us and maintain it while in war. It is so easy to fight a war with no emotional attachments. There are 5 pitfalls for a general: recklessness, leading to distraction; cowardice, leading to capture; a hot temper, prone to provocation; a delicacy of humor, leading to shame; a concern for his men, leading to trouble. The art of war puts an emphasis on the importance of good and adequate preparation. The underlying philosophy is that victory and defeat are always determined before the battle is fought. With sufficient calculations and planning, it is easy to decide how the battle will go, to see the chances of victory or defeat. Which side is stronger? Which side poses to have good strategy? During preparation for war, therefore, it is important to have enough information about the opponent in order to have necessary tactics in play. And to know about your opponent, you will need spies, sources of information. This will determine how strong our forces are, and to be practical on whether we will win or lose, and accept whatever we deem, with the bigger picture and long-term plan in our minds. It is also important that during war, the general knows his soldiers well. In order to fight effectively, the general must know that different soldiers are best with different weapons, with different positions in the field, and also have different mental capabilities. Self-awareness is a key component during preparation for war. If we know ourselves, we are able to know which enemies we are about to defeat and those we should run from. The only difference that will always make a difference is to know thyself. If you know the enemy and you know yourself, you need not to fear the results of 100 battles. If you know neither the enemy nor yourself, you will succumb in every battle. Sun Tzu. Using the art of deception is also another magnificent tactic we can use in preparation for war. I quote, "When able, feign inability. When developing troops, appear not to be. When near, appear far. When far, appear near." Another thing we need to ensure during preparation for war is being subtle. No one must even sniff what the strategies are. This can even be employed to the soldiers, with whom no one knows if they are spying. Therefore, even while choosing troops, we should choose the ones that are flexible, so that when the plan is finally said, even on the battlefield, they will know. I quote, "Be extremely subtle, even to the point of formlessness. Be extremely mysterious, even to the point of soundlessness. Thereby, you can be the director of the opponent's fate." In conclusion, the art of war teaches us how to pick and win battles, how to strategize effectively, how to use our circumstances to our own advantage, and how to ensure we know our enemy well in order to win. Thank you very much for watching this video. I hope you have learned something from it, and please subscribe for more videos so that we learn more about philosophy. I am Mobisa. Till next time.